folks, we have some serious allegations about the UFC double champ Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira apparently got this beautiful redheaded white woman and completely drilled her up the sphincter. And folks, we're talking about the double champ Alex Pereira. This guy's walking around with a missile. Just imagine that missile ransacking your intestines. I mean, it sounds painful. Now, here's the problem. Nobody believes this woman. Nobody believes her because this is a sex worker. A sex worker who says things like this.
As much as you guys think that I'm this, like, whore, I don't know what I'm allowed to say on TikTok. As much as you guys think these things about me just because of the line of work that I do, I just do what I have to do to make ends meet. That has nothing to do with anything.
Really? You do whatever it takes for some money, huh? Including being a sex worker. Now, this woman recants the entire story between her and Alex Pereira, the double champ of the UFC, one of the greatest UFC light heavyweight champions the world has ever seen, who can do absolutely no wrong, and this girl deserved everything she got. And it starts out with her friend getting a DM. Apparently, her friend is into kickboxing, and she got a DM from Alex Pereira's manager. Alex Pereira's manager started asking her friend questions. How long have you been in kickboxing? Would you be interested in meeting Alex Pereira? And then he asked, do you have a friend that you can bring along for Alex? Now, we all know what this means. We want to We want to hand out back shots. We want to squirt cum. We want to skeet all over. Do you have a friend so I can use her as a sex doll? The double champ wants to ransack your sphincter. Now I'm going to ask you again. Do you have a friend? So what did she say? Of course I do. She said, of course I do. So these two women, one, which is a sex worker, comes along to Alex Pereira's gym. The kickboxing lady starts sparring with Alex Pereira. There's the other one, the sex worker, is recording the entire situation. And then, they're done with their workout. And Alex Pereira goes up to the redheaded one, the one who's accusing him of horrific things. And Alex Pereira, looks at her up and down, turns her around. This is what she said. He grabs her ass, he looks at it, and he tells his manager, yeah, she's pretty good. She can come along for tonight. Then they get invited to the UFC that night in New Jersey. Now, keep in mind, according to the sex worker with the red hair, she said that at that moment, she felt disgusted because Alex Pereira was looking at her as cattle. He was looking at her as a piece of meat. He checked and grabbed her ass and said, yeah, she's fine. She can come along so I can use up her sphincter later on tonight because I'm the double champ of the UFC. Now remember, she's outside of a gym. There's dozens of people there present. Nobody's stopping her from saying, you know what? I'm going back home. Fuck this. I don't feel comfortable. This guy's going to use me for sex. I'm going back home. No, she got invited to the UFC to hang out with Alex Pereira and his manager. But before that, she got invited to the hotel where all the fighters were staying. Now, apparently there was a miscommunication because she wasn't supposed to show up there. The double champ had booked a room across the street so he can pipe her down later on tonight. But she showed up and Alex Pereira was upset, apparently, and said, what are these women doing here? Get them out of here. Because the entire UFC staff was there, all the fighters were there, they all saw this woman. According to her, she felt very uncomfortable after this. She felt very disrespected by Alex Pereira. But even still after that, she's still planning to hang out with this guy. Alex Pereira and his manager said they booked a room across the street. They're going to go to the room later on that night. First, they're going to go get some food, and then they're going to hang out, and then they're going to go back to the room so she can get piped out. Now remember, after all of this, she still keeps saying that she feels uncomfortable. Alex Pereira allegedly had already tried to kiss her. Apparently there's footage of this, and she had pushed his face away. She wasn't interested. She was disgusted by Alex Pereira, according to her, but she still doesn't go home. She still refuses to go home. She still wants to hang out with Alex Pereira like everything is fine and dandy. Now, I want to ask you a question. You as a man, you keep approaching this woman. She doesn't want to leave. She stays by your side this entire time. What are you thinking? What are you thinking as a man? Back shots. That's what I would be thinking. I'm thinking this girl wants back shots. This girl wants back shots. Otherwise, why the fuck would she just not leave? She wants to squirt. She wants to piss. She wants skeet on her forehead. And she wants anal. I mean, personally, that's what I would think. So I'm guessing the double champ says, okay, she doesn't want to leave. She's still around. Okay. After the UFC, they had plans to go out to eat somewhere. But it was already getting kind of late. Alex Pereira and his team were just hanging out. It was already apparently 2 o'clock in the morning. And Alex Pereira said, you know what? I'm tired. I want to go home. I want to go back to my hotel room, unleash a fat load, and go right to sleep. Hey, you sex worker who was apparently uncomfortable but still refuses to leave. You want to go back to my hotel room, just me and you? What are you thinking, yes or no? Now remember, 2 o'clock in the morning. The entire day has been apparently uncomfortable for her. Alex Pereira had tried to kiss her. Alex Pereira had grabbed her ass already. Even after all of this, at 2 o'clock in the morning, she's outside. She has the freedom to scream for help. She has the freedom to run to call the cops. She has the freedom to call an Uber and take her ass back home. But instead, she gets invited by the double champ. Hey, would you like to go back to my room so I can use it as a cum dumpster? Yes or no? Okay, that seems fine to me. 2 o'clock in the morning. What do you think is going to happen in a hotel room, you alone with the guy at 2 o'clock in the morning? If you're not going there to what are you going there for? You're going to go take a nap? You're going to go watch TV? You're going to go watch a movie? What is it? No, really, what is it? Because we want to know. And so listen to this.
When I think it was like 2 or 3 in the morning. Eventually, Alex comes to the hotel room after the interview that he was at, and he says that he doesn't want to go out. He wants to enjoy the time that he has with the people he's with. Some bullshit like that. And then he takes off his clothes, gets into bed, orders food, and then is trying to get me to get into bed with him. My friend and me and the translator are all sitting on the couch, and he's just sitting in bed staring at me and telling his translator to tell me things and trying to convince me to get into bed with him. I eventually get into bed with him because I was naive, I guess. I didn't think that anything was going to happen. My friend was there with me. I had told her not to leave me at any point. She had told me not to leave her with the assistant at any point. I thought... He picks me up from off of on top of him, asks me, the only time he spoke English this entire time that I was with him was to ask me to help him put it in. I tried to put it in, but I was nervous, so I couldn't. So he did it, and he put it in my ass, and then he assaulted me. Afterwards, he got up, he took a shower, I laid in bed, just kind of like disassociated, not even really like realizing what had just happened. I'm scared as fuck, and I don't know if I can use the shower, and I'm scared to ask him. So I just go to the bathroom and I sit on the toilet for a few minutes while I literally bleed. I come back to bed after going to the bathroom. He kisses me on the forehead and he spoons me to sleep. His translator and my friend came in the next morning, woke us up, I get dressed, they get us an Uber. We go back to our hotel, pack up our stuff, and that's it. That's what happened. I don't really know what else to say, and I don't really like expect everybody to believe me. I knew that nobody was gonna believe me just based off of that TikTok that I posted. I guess I just wasn't expecting as many threatening.
You know, these women are just something else. When you really think about it, these women are crazy. These women are retarded. These women are crazy. These women are not accountable for shit at all. Nothing's ever their fault. It's never their responsibility. It's always the other person's responsibility. It's never their fault. You know what happened here? This is a clear case of you got fucked, you got dumped, and now you're sad about it. The double champ unleashed a massive load, wrecked your sphincter with his missile, completely rearranged your guts, and as you're sitting there in the toilet, contemplating what just happened, you go back to the room. Alex Pereira is already, he's dead asleep by now. He unleashed a massive load, and all you hear is him farting and him snoring. Next morning, you wake up, you're probably thinking, oh, we're going to make plans for today, me and the double champ. But the best you got was his assistant coming in the room and telling you, hey, your Uber is downstairs. Get the fuck out. But my sphincter, get the fuck out. We got plans. We made plans. And they don't include you, cum dump. So now I can imagine her filled with rage. I was used and abused, even though you're the one that set yourself up for all of this. Then you want to go on TikTok and go viral off the double champ. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. And by the way, Alex Pereira is not going to go to jail. Nothing's going to come of this. Because this scallywag was following him around like a puppy all day long. There's footage everywhere of her following this man around. She's a sex worker. She said herself she does whatever it takes for some money. So who are we going to believe? The honorable double champ or a scallywag who's a sex worker? Women are going to have to make a change because this is getting ridiculous. At what point do women start taking accountability for their actions? At what point do women realize, you know what, maybe I'm the problem? I was acting like a whore the entire day. I gave him all the signs that even though I was kind of uncomfortable, but I still stuck around. These are clear signs that I'm playing hard to get. At what point do women accept responsibility for their actions? Now you got a wrecked anal cavity. You're probably going to get hemorrhoids now because that's what happens. People who get drilled up the sphincter get these clusters of hemorrhoids all around their sphincter because Alex Pereira wrecked her anal cavity. We all know, everybody knows Alex Pereira is walking around with a python. I mean, I've heard the rumors. Rumors are that Alex Pereira's penis is the size of a Monster Energy drink. The girth of it. I mean, it's a monstrosity of a penis. So now you can't comfortably fart anymore because if you fart, shit's gonna come out. Your butthole's all loose and it breathes at night. And it's all because you make horrible decisions as a woman. You have nobody else to blame but yourself. I would suggest you go to Colombia, Brazil, Dominican Republic and get reconstructive surgery on the anal cavity because it's a disaster.